Reddy Bay, Redland Bay, the Bayside. We're going to be talking about Redland Bay in today's video, breaking down a suburb by suburb play. I'm going to be talking about the islands. People have always wanted me to talk about the islands. Macleay Island, Coochie-Mudlow, all the other options, Stradbroke even. We're going to be covering the best pockets in Redland Bay, the not pockets in my opinion, and where value sits in the current market. If you get values out of these videos, make sure you drop a like. Head over to purposeproperty.com.au if you're looking for a Brisbane-based buyer's agent, and let's dive straight into these recent sales and suburbs. We are on our favorite website for many of you, I'm sure, and that is realestate.com.au, and we're going to be looking at Redland Bay today, so Redland City region. We're going to be looking at sold listings in the region, and again, I like to set some basic parameters. I prefer a map view myself, and I want to look at different filters. So I want to look at houses. I want to look at any prices to begin with. And we'll start with only sold prices as well so we can actually make good commentary. We're going to look at blocks greater than 300 square meters, so at least on some reasonable land, and sales in the last 3 months. We're going to hit search here. Now, you can see Redland Bay is not as big an area as some of the other locations here in southeast Queensland. We've got the islands, so Stradbroke Island, Coochie-Mudlow, Macleay, Lamb Island, Carragara, Russell Island's probably the big one. And then we've got the inland location. So Redland Bay, the suburb itself, Mount Cotton, Victoria Park, up to Wellington Point, Birkdale, and Thornside. So what I'll do is how about we start from the south side and work our way up to the more expensive options. Now, your cheapest options are going to be the islands. And I've been asked plenty of times, Luke, why don't you buy on these islands? You can buy a house for $470,000. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath house, 809 square meter block for $470K. It's a bargain. Why are you telling your investors and owner-occupiers not to buy on the islands? We love the islands, some people tell me. Now, for me, it's a problem with the demand. So, yes, there's a lack of supply on the islands. We can all agree that there is limited space on these islands to build property. At some point, the islands will be built up. So there is scarcity in that regard. The problem for me is the demand side of the equation. It tends to be people who aren't working, so retirees, and not many families are going to go out and live on these islands. So they lack the demand from the main driver or the main market, in my opinion. So the fact that you can buy for $470,000 is great. To buy, this home looks great for $470K. It would probably cost you a couple $100,000 to build a home like this in southeast Queensland. The problem for me is the location and the scarcity factor not being there from other buyers. And you can even see there are vacant blocks on these locations. Vacant block, vacant block, vacant block. So this just proves my point that if there was enough demand, this house would be knocked down and there'd be 5 houses here. So clearly there's not enough demand to, and there's still land in these locations to warrant people buying on the islands. And there's still prices that are down at $470K. So for me, all the islands go into the same bucket. I personally would not put my own money on any of the islands. If I'm spending $470K or $550 or $650, I'm going to Geelong, I'm going to Melbourne. I'm not buying in the islands in southeast Queensland. Now, let's take the ferry across from Russell Island over to Redland Bay and Mount Cotton. So Mount Cotton is a really interesting pocket. You can see here it's basically a new build estate from the 2000s, and there are some new build infills happening here between Mount Cotton and Redland Bay. There's lots of farmland around which could be developed, so that's something you've got to be wary of. Now this pocket in here is clearly established. So you're going to get houses at that 920, 900,000 to $1 million, $1.1 million. And there's a little shopping centre here, some great parklands. This is a beautiful area if you want to be an owner occupier. But as an investor, for $1 million, I'd be buying in other spots if it was my money. Because there is surrounding land supply, which means generally a lack of scarcity. Redland Bay is also another area to be wary of. It's good that it's got an arterial road and it's got the bay side, so it's bordered between an arterial road and the bay, so clearly no more development in these pockets here, but there is developments right nearby. You can see, this looks like a commercial precinct going in here. There are definitely some more housing pockets going in as well. You can see housing pockets going in. Look how small these blocks are. So just opposite that main road that we were talking about, they're developing these houses here. So really infilling the other side of that main arterial road. The problem with Redland Bay for most investments is that it does lack access to infrastructure and hubs. So it has no train line. It is the most isolated of all the locations. So you've got to come out of Redland Bay to get to the motorway to go to the Gold Coast or to Logan to Brisbane. and you've got to go to the northern side of Redland Bay to get to the train line. It's just something to be wary of. So for me, Redland Bay is okay if you buy with the right scarcity, but there are some better pockets if you've got more money, which leads into Victoria Point and Thornlands. So these areas have had some of the lowest growth over the last decade, but have now pulled back in the last few years. And the reason I think they had lower growth over the last decade was because same thing as Redland Bay, they had land around them. So you can see there's land out here, and they did lack the supply or the access to major networks, so train stations and schools and things like that. But in saying that, they can be good areas to buy in the right pockets. So Victoria Point, you're going to pay $1.4 million to buy a nice house. 5-bed, 4-bath, 809 square meter block. Beautiful home, swimming pool, cabana out the back, renovated upstairs, fully repainted, air cons throughout, reasonable bathrooms. This is a great home. So this would have gone to an owner-occupier. It's got a kitchenette downstairs, so it's a dual living house, and very close to that Bayside and Coochie Island over there. So these areas are going for a fair bit of money, and you can see that there's some knockdown rebuilds happening around this property. So that's what you're getting for $1.5 million in Victoria Point. Thornlands is going to be a bit cheaper, so you're going to be able to buy, for that million for $1.3 million. So for 1.3, so you drop the price by 1 to 200 grand, you're getting a similar home, renovated throughout, lofted ceilings here, new tapware, new shower screens, good backyard, swimming pool, everything you might need as an owner-occupier. Now, if I had the budget, I would probably push towards Cleveland, Alex Hills and Capella. We've bought a lot in the buyer's agency, more in 2020 and 2023. And then you've got areas like Ormiston, Birkdale, Wellington Point, and Thornside. These are your most premium pockets in Redland Bay. So Cleveland is the end of the train line. So I really like Cleveland because you can get some blocks in here which have dual street access or subdivision potential, but they do go for a lot of money depending on the site. So we'll just try and find a site here that's a bit cheaper. Oh, this is not a great, not a great option at 400 square meters for $1 million. I would not be buying that as an investor. This is probably more, again, too small a block for me. Let's see what we can find. It's hard to tell. That property might need a ton of renos. So you can see that the options are limited in this Cleveland region. This would be similar to what I would buy as an investor in the Cleveland region. So compress the price, get a block size above 600 square meters, 3-bed, 1-bath home, $1.15 million. This would be what I would kind of buy in the Redlands or the Cleveland region myself. It's an older house. It's got a reasonable floor plan. It looked like to me that it's a corner block. So that means I could potentially redevelop it down the track. Yeah, it is a corner block, but you're not going to redevelop this. It's using the full block there as well. So it would only be if it was a knockdown rebuild in 10 or 15 years' time, which is a fair way away. But you've got good land component under there, and it does compress the price by $200,000 to $300,000, which is significant. If you move into the west a little bit, you've got Capella Bar and Alex Hills. So I helped my family members. Some of my family members bought in Alex Hills 4 or 5 years ago. It's still an area that investors do buy in. I don't see as much value as I used to. We were buying heavily in this region when I started the buyer's agency in 2020. And then there was another window in 2023, 2024 where it made sense. As of 2026, it's not as good a value as it once was. Houses are now selling for $1.1 to $1.2 million. And so when we were buying these properties, they were selling for $600 to $700K. So a lot cheaper. So for your 1.1 to 1.2, you're getting a low set home on a good block size with a backyard and a swimming pool. These are decent homes that were built in the 90s, typically. So tiled roof, brick veneer, decent streets. And a lot of families are buying in these locations for the low $1 million mark. If I had that kind of budget, I'd be buying in Logan or Ipswich or Moreton Bay before I'd be buying in Redland Bay, in Alex Hills or Capella Bar. If I did have a bigger budget, however, these are the pockets I would definitely be buying in. Birkdale, absolutely. Wellington Point and Ormiston. These are your 3 premium pockets. Obviously, Raby Bay is ultra premium, so that's on the canals. That's not what I'm typically looking to buy as an investor myself. I don't want to sink $2.5 million into a canal house. But if you're an owner-occupier and you want to spend $2.5 million, they're beautiful homes. You've got your swimming pool, your canal, your boat access, all those things. But for me as an investor, I don't want to sink $2.4 million into a property like this when I could go buy 3 houses for $900K, basically. But if I want to sink, 1.8 or $1.5 million into an area like Ormiston, you can get good blocks, $1.6 million in Wellington Point and Ormiston. Now, Ormiston College is one of the best colleges in Southeast Queensland. It's a private school. You got train line access into Brisbane City. It takes about 35 to 40 minutes to get to the city from here. The college is right here. So you can see the college is located right here. Big school grounds, big sporting facilities, and then your train line is just here running through. If I switch to map view, you'll see that train line come back. Be wary of the bay flood overlays and the creeks, but otherwise, for my money, if I've got a premium budget, Redlands College, Ormiston College, train line, these are some really great pockets to buy in if you've got the money. Birkdale, I think, is a bit of a gem. In fact, you can buy for $1.1 million in Thornside or Birkdale. This, to me, this should be 1.3 in my mind. Areas like Birkdale and Thornside are probably the most undervalued pockets in the Redland Bay region, in my opinion. A house like this, fully renovated, which would cost 150 grand to do a new kitchen, new floors, new paint, should be selling for 1.35, in my opinion. So if you spend 150 grand, you're in for 1.2. In my opinion, it's a $1.3 million house every day of the week once you spend that 100 grand. So if I was starting again and it was Luke and Emily, just youngly married couple, and we were looking to break in and reno, and we had the capacity to buy and DIY, I would, if I could get the budget together for $1.1 million, I'd break into Thornside or Birkdale, do a big reno, because there's a ton of houses in these areas that are much nicer. And there's also huge scarcity. You can see this street here, Ian Street, is scarce. There's access to the water at the Esplanade, there's access to the station, and access to the good state school and the good private school as well. So in my opinion, this pocket is probably the most undervalued pocket. So there's a huge tip if you've stuck around to the end of this video. Now, we've kind of covered all of Redland Bay. It's not as big as some of the other regions we've spoken about in other videos. We've got the islands, the southern side with some supply issues and some access issues. We've got Sheldon and Thornlands. Now, we didn't touch on Sheldon much. It's just more acreage properties. So you're getting those acreage properties. I like these areas as an owner-occupier. Beautiful properties in Sheldon. So if you're an owner-occupier looking for acreage, it's good value compared to some of the options in Brisbane. I've actually looked at myself buying an owner-occupier property in Sheldon like this, because you get a couple of acres. They've got chooks here. You can see chickens, swimming pool, room for a soccer field, room for a big shed, fire pit, everything you might want. So Sheldon's a good one from that point of view, less from an investor's point of view. Then you've got areas like Cleveland with subdivisions and upside potential. Alex Hills and Capella Bar, a little bit pricey in my mind. Higher price points at Wellington Point, Birkdale, Thornside and Birkdale, with those two pockets probably being my pick of the bunch. We've covered some huge ground here. If you get value out of these videos, make sure you leave a like down below. It goes a long way, honestly. Getting your feedback, leaving likes. Leave a comment as well. I love hearing your thoughts on where you see value. Do you see value in the same suburbs that I do? Do you think I'm completely off as a buyer's agent and a chartered accountant and a professional investor myself? You let me know if you think I'm wrong, because I'm open to hearing other thoughts and ideas. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you leave a comment saying more, M-O-R-E, and then leave me a comment where you want me to cover. Gold Coast, Ipswich, even up to the sunny coast. And then we're going to be covering Melbourne as well, and Geelong. So leave me a comment down below of where you want me to cover next. And head over to purposeproperty.com.au if you want to work with myself and the team to help you buy a property in Southeast Queensland or in that Melbourne and Greater Melbourne region. Head over to purposeproperty.com.au for that. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this one. Click this video here, and I'll see you in that video over there. Peace.